When we read in Daniel 7, verse 13 and 14, as it described Christ receiving a kingdom, is what it described. This kingdom is through conversion. This kingdom is through conversion to the truth, even the present truth that involves the judgment hour message. And as in the days of the midnight cry, we find that the Advent believers found new light upon the sanctuary. And as they found new light on the sanctuary, they realized that the judgment had already begun when they found that truth. As it was in the midnight cry, so shall it be in the days of the loud cry. The truth concerning the advancement of the judgment has already begun, and many did not know it, as the Adventist believers did not know the judgment had begun in 1844 until after Samuel Snow and others found the sanctuary truth. We must understand the parallels of history, and as we understand the past, we can understand the future, because history always repeats itself. Ecclesiastes 3:15 and Ecclesiastes 1:9 make this very clear. So with that foundation, let us now turn to Isaiah chapter 3. Isaiah chapter 3. Notice what the Bible says as we pick up in verse 12. Isaiah 3 and verse 12, it says, "As for my people," that's the church, that is modern day Israel, who are Seventh-day Adventists. Hence the reason I am a Seventh-day Adventist Christian. It goes on to say, "As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err and destroy the way of thy paths. The Lord standeth up to plead and standeth to judge the people. The Lord will enter," notice this, "the Lord will enter into judgment with the ancients of his people and the princes thereof, for ye have eaten up the vineyard, and the spoil of the poor is in your houses." God has a problem with the leadership hoarding the money that should be used for the forwarding of his work. So he exposes it here in verse 14 at a time when women are ruling. Now, were women ruling in 1844, in 1863, in 1888? There were no women pastors or women elders or women usurping authority over men in the church. But in 2024, or even previous to 2024, we see that that is happening. Now, today is August the 3rd, 2024. And we have the discussion of not just one or two, but hundreds of women pastors in the Seventh-day Adventist Church, which should never be, because 1 Timothy 2 and 3 are very clear concerning the qualifications for a bishop or pastor or elder. Or we can also use the book of Titus that makes reference to leadership in the church. So therefore, God is making it clear that at a time of judgment, there will be women ruling. When we look at that in connection with Exodus 12 and verse 12, there it said God would execute judgment upon man and beast at a time where God is dealing with the forehead and hand, as we see during Passover. So what is God saying? God is not just judging individuals in the church, he's also dealing with nations at the same time. Judgment on man and beast. Therefore, we can understand now that it's not just the ruling of women in the church that God has a problem with, it's also ruling in nations. And at that time, we can expect God will judge America. So at a time where Kamala Harris is replacing Joe Biden, as we've discussed in previous presentations, many of you saw this sermon from 2022, which was in July of 2022. We can expect judgment upon America and judgment upon Seventh-day Adventists at a time when a woman is about to replace, or a woman replaces a man in the leadership of America. So it's not just judgment upon the church, but judgment upon man and beast. What is a beast in Bible prophecy? It represents a nation, according to Daniel 7, verse 17, and Daniel 8 and verse 20. A beast or an animal in Bible prophecy represents a nation. All the Protestant reformers agreed upon that point. Martin Luther, John Huss, John Wesley, the leading Baptist pastors like Roger Williams, all agreed that a beast represented a nation in Bible prophecy. This is so important because discussion of Kamala Harris replacing Biden is already underway. That means we can expect judgment upon America, and we know that national apostasy will be followed by national ruin. What is the national apostasy? It will be the enforcement of Sunday by law in America. What will be the national ruin? Major earthquake, tsunami upon Tampa Bay, Florida, a dark day where the day will go dark at noon, an invasion upon American soil by Russia and China, which will result in captives of war and the White House being hit. Also, we will see the fulfillment of the wormwood prophecy, where an asteroid will strike the earth and America will be affected by that asteroid or space rock or whatever you'd like to call it. The fall of communism and the fall of China on the dark day, as it says in Ezekiel 32, a statute of disobedience, as it was in the days of Lot with Lot's wife, and a great slaughter we will see among Seventh-day Adventists and especially in America due to these events. National apostasy will be followed by national ruin, and this is what it means. May God help us to prepare.